Basil continues to press for a general election. Prasanna reprimands Udayanga. Prasanna's mission succeeds with Rajapaksa loyalists too, backing Ranil. Harsha Gadahawa rivalry takes a new turn. Politics gets to the head of Western Province big shot.
The Leader, දේශයට මග කියන ප්‍රවෘත්ති පෙළගැස්ම.
Basil continues to press for a general election. President Ranil Wickremesinghe informed the cabinet on Monday that a presidential election would take place first. He told them to target the election with their work. Ranil had to do so, and plant news as well, because Basil has been exerting pressure on the president's close associates to get him to dissolve parliament after the new year and go for a general election. At a meeting of SLPP organisers at the Nelum Mawatha office last Wednesday, he told them to prepare for parliamentary polls. As usual, he has got to work, placing a workstation for each of the 160 electorates. However, according to sources at the president's office, a majority of ruling as well as opposition MPs are opposed to Basil's idea. So Ranil has sent a message to Basil, asking him to submit a petition with signatures of a majority of MPs that they are for the dissolution of Parliament, if he is to consider such a move. The duo are expected to meet tonight to make a final decision, although Basil has told the media that the opposition too prefers a general election. Both the SJB and NPP vehemently oppose it. SJB Chairman Fonseca says MPs want to complete their 5-year mandate. They sell their duty-free vehicle permit to pay off their debts. If a general election is held, all that is lost. Also, most do not have the means to fund a campaign. Party funding is not adequate at all, he adds. Analysts say the failure to resolve this matter amicably will lead to a further division of the SLPP. A majority of its MPs support the president, and they could take a stern decision at a crucial juncture. Prasanna reprimands Udayanga. At the recent meeting of the SLPP MPs, Basil gave them yet another lecture, telling them that they should not forget the role played by the president and also that the party considers certain things when selecting a presidential candidate. After the meeting ended and Minister Prasanna Ranatunga came out, he met Rajapaksa, relative Udayanga Weeratunga, face to face. The two have not seen eye to eye since Prasanna's days as the tourism minister. Udayanga has been a vocal critic of the Prasanna public. Normally, Prasanna does not respond. But seeing him at the SLPP headquarters sent the minister into a rage. This is the one who ruined Mahinda Mahataya. He is a fool who becomes garrulous at the sight of microphones, Prasanna lashed at him. Others at the scene could not understand what was happening. Both Basil and Mahinda were still in the office. When we formed the SLPP, this one was not even in Sri Lanka. He was hiding in fear after the MIG deal. The SLPP we made allowed him to come out of hiding. Fellows like him try to teach us politics, he went on. Udayanga said pleadingly. Sorry, Minister. You should apologise to Mahinda, sir, not me. That good man cannot go before the public because of your garrulousness. You are free to do your politics, but don't come to interfere with the SLPP. We will take care of that, Prasanna warned him. State Minister Ranawira asked him not to clash with madmen. I was patient until I met him. Remember, thieves like you have no place here, Prasanna added before getting into his vehicle. That ended it. But the next scene could well be with Chamuditha on YouTube. Prasanna's mission succeeds with Rajapaksa loyalists too, backing Ranil. Even the MPs wonder what will happen in the future. Uncertainty surrounds everything. On Tuesday morning, government MPs Sahan Pradeep, Denipatiya, Kokila Harshani, Tisa Kutiratchi, Milan Jayatilak and Weerasinghe were having a chat in the Parliament atrium when their chief whip Prasanna stopped and joined in. When asked what they were discussing, one commented the opposition was trying to create records with no confidence motions. Don't take them seriously. They have nothing to say or do. The president will handle it. Anyway, the opposition does childish things like that, he replied. Another asked as to whom they should support at the presidential polls. We should support the president. He is solving the country's problems. Kokila said they could bring people together when they are in power. People are joining for the president's victory, she said. Samanpriya raised a question about certain things when different parties come together. Such are personal opinions. We should not get involved. Most such things will come up at a general election. We should win the presidential election that comes first, he said, adding that Basil should summon all and sort things out. He said he keeps statistics ready for Gampaha. Kutiarachchi said Basil told them that he still could not get an assurance from Ranil still. Prasanna advised that they should think about party supporters and decide because they could get harassed if either the JVP or the SJB wins. Another commented in agreement with that. Prasanna said he would raise that when he meets Basil within a matter of days. He agreed with Saham Pradeep and Ranawira, who commented that he talks straight unlike some others in the party. Kutiarachchi lost his temper when Saham Pradeep said that some remain undecided as they try to get to Parliament on the national list. That led to the two trading accusations, but Prasanna stopped them and asked that they discuss and settle things. That shows that the likes of Prasanna have succeeded in getting the SLPP to support Ranil. But we will have to wait and see which course political weather will take. Harsha Godahawa rivalry takes a new turn. Among the 6 from the Dulles Alahaparuma-led Freedom People's Congress, who are now with the SJB, only GL Piris and Nalaka Godahawa seem okay. Even Channa Jayasumana and Dylan Pereira have vanished into thin air. Economic expert Godahewa still faces stiff opposition from his opposite numbers in the SJB, namely Kabir Hashim, Harsha De Silva and Iran Wickramaratne. Now Harsha is taking their rivalry to the open. He says Godahewa is not in the SJB's economic policy unit. He told TV Dharana that Iran, Kabir and himself comprise that unit. In addition, Rohan Palawata joins them in blueprint discussions, he added. He went on that he knew Sajith since his school days, although Godahewa came to know him just over a year ago. Harsha added that he had a good insight into Sajith's economic principles, but Godahewa claimed recently that his were the same as those of the SJB leader. But Harsha accuses him of giving wrong advice to Gotabaya and taking the country to bankruptcy. He is responsible both as a Viathmaga member and a minister, he says. Seems like their enmity will drag on. What could be Sajith's decision? He wants to oppose Ranil for the sake of opposing, but not to decide which is correct. So, Harsha will have to toe Godahewa's line if he wants to survive in the SJB, certain analysts say. Politics gets to the head of Western Province big shot. Funny things are heard about a big shot in charge of a certain area in the Western Province. He takes his position to his head, and secretarial-level ones at odds with him get transfers elsewhere, as they cannot stand him. Normally, he is entitled to his own media unit, but this one drove several media officer appointees away, saying he can look things after himself. But nothing happens to him despite complaints. The swollen-headed in politics ends up tragically. So doing things the gentleman's way is the way forward. This is true for both politicians and state officials. Many end up as lost fellows. So one should be careful when dealing with power. The best recent example in that regard is Gotabaya Rajapaksa. In short, he could not say it correctly even by writing a book. So, this year of elections will teach lessons to many. They will either learn a lesson themselves or be taught a lesson by the people. That's it for today.